Hey, I don't know about you, but I can feel so scattered sometimes between the pinball machine of thoughts bouncing around my mind, not to mention all the notifications, my very loud children, and the ongoing demands coming at me all day, every day. The days can feel overwhelming. That's exactly why I created my brand new Start Your Day Planner. This planner helps you start each day clear, confident, and in control. This simple 5-minute morning routine gives you easy prompts that give context, clarity, and focus to your day so you know exactly what to focus on and you finally feel good about how you spend your time. And I'm so excited to let you know that the physical hard copy of the Start Your Day Planner is now available. You can head over to startyourdayplanner.com to get your copy. And if you want to check it out before you buy it, you can even download a free digital sample of the Start Your Day Planner. You can see the inside. Go ahead, get started on the system and try it out for yourself. Head over to startyourdayplanner.com and get ready to start your days in a whole new way. That's startyourdayplanner.com. Hey everyone, and welcome to Get Your Hopes Up. I'm Christy Wright, and I'm so glad you're here. Romans 15:13 says, "May the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace as you trust in him, so that you may overflow with hope by power of the Holy Spirit." Our God is the God of hope, and he wants you to overflow with hope. So let's start our week by getting our hopes up again. Now, today we are talking about following God into the crazy. Have you ever been there? Maybe you're there right now. I am. So let's talk about it. Now, many of you know that I have helped people build businesses for years, decades even. And I've noticed in the business building process, there are several stages most people go through. First, there's the dreaming. You daydream and you scribble on napkins and you might talk to friends about, "Oh, I've got this business idea," or, "Oh, I've got this thought or this dream of maybe something I could do, or maybe I could build this or create this or write a book or do this new thing." And you're just dreaming. There's no risk. There's nothing on the line. There's no vulnerability. You're just dreaming. Everyone's allowed to dream, right? That's one stage, the dreaming stage. There's also the planning stage. Okay, now we're doing research. Now we're making calls. We're trying to find out information. What's out there? What could this look like? What are some rough numbers? What might we do? How could this play out? That's the planning stage. You also have the building stage when you're actually creating. Maybe you buy a URL, or you're building a website, or you're actually writing the book and you're actually building the offers and you're actually doing the stuff. But everything you're doing up to this point is all behind the scenes. The dreaming, the planning, the building. It's usually just you and a computer, right? And all of this is fun and exciting, maybe a little vulnerable, but it's not that risky. Because it's just usually you and some Word docs and some spreadsheets at this point. There's nothing really on the line. And even if you put some money behind it, you could just, cut your losses and walk away. It's no big deal. But there comes a point in this new venture where you actually have to put yourself out there. You have to launch and promote and share and speak up and put it out in the world. And it is terrifying. It's nerve-wracking in a way that keeps you up at night and makes you feel like a crazy person, because one minute you're convinced it's going to be a huge hit and the next minute you're ready to trash it all and pretend like you never had this idea. You fluctuate between wild confidence and unbridled ambition and complete terror and the insecurity of a 13-year-old boy. You ever been there? I have. The truth is, this is the same process we often go through when we're building something with the Lord. Whether it's a business with the Lord or a ministry with the Lord or some other idea altogether, we kind of all go through the same process. So whether God has called you to build a business or write a book or speak or start a ministry or move or start a new school, whatever the decision is, you usually go through a similar process. There's all this background work like dreaming and planning and building, but you come to a moment where you have to actually do the thing. You sign the contract on the house you bought. You put in your 2 weeks notice. You launch the business. You burn the ships and go all in on the thing. It is the no turning back moment. And I've had many of these, y'all. And while I would like to tell you that they get easier, they don't. You just get more comfortable with the fear and you learn to do it anyway. And I want to tell you something. This week is that week for me. This week, at the time of this airing, on Thursday, March 20th, I'm leading a live parent info session for the new school that I'm starting, Bridge Christian School. I am following God into the crazy right now in real time, putting myself out there where there is no turning back. And since I am, and you might be on your own crazy journey too, I want to share with you 5 things that you can expect when you follow God into the crazy. These are all 5 things I have experienced anytime I have followed God into the crazy, and they are things I'm going through right now in real time as I am putting myself out there this week for Bridge Christian School. So let's walk through 5 things you can expect when you follow God into the crazy. Number 1, God will ask you to do something you are not qualified to do. Y'all, I'm good at many things, but running a homeschool co-op tutorial situation isn't one of them. I've never homeschooled my children. I've never had any experience in the education industry whatsoever. And even me telling you this feels so vulnerable right now because yes, in a few days, I'm leading a live parent info session on a school I'm starting. I'm not qualified to start this school. I will be the first to tell you that. And you know what? God will do the same thing to you, friend. He will ask you to do something you are not qualified to do. He has not asked me to do something I'm super, super, super good at and comfortable in. He's done that before, but he's also asked me to do things I'm not qualified to do, and that's what he's doing right now. If you're not qualified, guess what? You're in good company. God does this to us all the time. I often use the example of Moses. When God called Moses to go rescue the Israelites, Moses says to God, hey, I'm not a good speaker. I'm not good with words. I'm not eloquent of speech. Moses was scared because he didn't feel qualified. There are countless stories in Scripture of people who didn't feel qualified. Just like you. Just like me. You know what? It's okay. We can take comfort in the fact that this is what God does, because when God calls people who are not qualified, he gets all the glory. No one's going to think, oh, this person pulled it off because they're so brilliant and smart and experienced. They're going to think, God did that. How amazing that God could do that. God will ask you to do something you're not qualified to do. So in all your excuse making, in your prayers and trying to wriggle out of this thing, don't use the fact that you're not qualified because he'll go, I know you're not. I know you're not. I don't care. That's exactly why I'm using you. And it is the quote that we all know. He does not call the qualified. He qualifies the called. You are not qualified. You're right. But you are called. And that's all that matters. I feel my chest getting tight even as I speak that over myself right now. I am not qualified, but I am called. So number 1, God will ask you to do something you're not qualified to do. Expect it. It's what he does. Number 2, God will expect you to move forward without all the information. So again, in all your excuse making of why you can't do this or you can't move forward, don't say you don't have all the information, because he knows that and he expects you to move forward anyway. He expects you to move forward with the information that you do have, to start putting yourself out there, doing Google searches, making calls, asking questions, creating documents. He expects you to build without all the information. And he fills in the information as you walk. He fills in the information as you build. But he will not give more information, more insight, more resources, and more answers until you get moving. He said to Abraham, go, leave everything, go to the place I will show you. He didn't say go to the place I have showed you. He didn't say go to the place you've already seen, I've already told you about, you know exactly your destination. He said, go to the place I will show you. He hasn't showed him yet. So Abraham's leaving before he knows where he's going. As you go, I will show you. As you go, I will tell you. And the same is true for you and me. I didn't have all the information when I started. I had a tiny, tiny percent. But every step of faith, as I acted on the tiny percent I had, God gave more. God gave more. He lit another step. He lit another step. He lit another step. I had a vision even a few weeks ago, y'all, of a leg lifting, almost if you were visualizing from looking over someone and you see a knee raising up. And this knee is lifting to take a step forward into darkness. And just before the foot hits down, it's lit. The light comes as the foot comes down. But don't you know that knee lifted to take the step before there was light? God expects you to lift your leg forward and take steps forward into the darkness, but I promise you, He will light the path before your foot hits the ground. He will show you the path before your foot hits. God expects you to move forward without all the information. Stop waiting for all the information. It's not coming in your stuckness. It comes as you go. So go. Number 2, God will expect you to move forward without all the information. So go. This episode is brought to you by Glorify, the #1 Christian daily devotional app. Hey, do you want to grow in your relationship with God, but you don't know how? Or maybe you find yourself opening your Bible with no idea of where to start. I get it, and I've been there. Luckily, that's where the Glorify app comes in. With Glorify, you can start your morning by reading the Bible passage of the day, diving into the daily devotional, or even wrapping up with an immersive experience called Daily Walk with God. And if you need to take a few minutes to yourself in the middle of a busy day, you can try one of the guided meditations or listen to their worship playlists for some quiet reflection. To end the day, you can even enjoy sleep meditations to help you wind down. Join over 20 million people who have downloaded the Glorify app and deepened their relationship with God. Visit glorify-app.com/hope right now to download the Glorify app for free. That's glorify-app.com/hope. Number 3, God will bring you the people, the resources, and the money that you need. Listen, He knows your limitations, y'all. So when you're telling Him all the reasons you can't do it, you're not experienced, you don't have this information, you don't have these resources, connections, money, whatever, He knows. He knows. He knows your limitations, and He will bring that around you. You know, in the fall, when it was just me, and I mean just me and the Lord building this school, I just kept telling the Lord, I don't know the education market. I don't know how you interview teachers. I don't know hiring teachers. I don't know what you pay teachers. I don't know curriculum. I don't know how you discipline. If one kid punches another kid in the face, how do you handle that? I don't know any of this stuff, Lord. And I just kept feeling this pressure to be someone that I wasn't. See, I know what I'm good at, y'all. I'm a really good speaker. I'm a good business mind. So I began this school as a business. I've started it as a nonprofit. I've got attorneys. I've put money behind it to get the whole software system set up. I'm building the website. I know how to do that stuff. That's the business side. I'm good at that stuff. I don't know the curriculum. I don't know standardized testing. I don't know benchmarks. I don't know any of this stuff. And I just kept feeling this pressure to be someone that I wasn't, but I just knew that God kept saying, I will bring you the people. I will bring you the people. I will bring you the people. And y'all, I could just testify today of the people He has brought around me since then. People that have the exact opposite giftings and experience than I do. People in the education market that know education, no curriculum, no testing. They know all of that coming alongside me because they actually feel called to do something in the same direction that I do, where God is bringing the people into alignment with me, with the exact opposite skills and experience and knowledge that I have, where we complement each other. And I bring the business side and they bring the education side, and it all comes together to bring this idea to life, because this was never my idea anyway. This was God's idea. This is not my baby to hold and control and manage and put out in the world. It's God's idea for me to steward and faithfully walk forward, knowing that He will bring me the people needed to pull it off. Just like with Easter baskets. Just like with every other situation He has brought me through. The same is true for you, friend. God knows who you are. He knows what you know and what you don't know. He knows exactly how much money is in your bank account to the penny. And He will bring you the people, the resources, and the money you need to pull this off. He knows your limitations, and He is more than able to provide for you. He has no limitations. He right now is putting dreams in other people's heart to come around you to pull this off. The publicist you need, the copy editor you need, the designer you need, the accountant you need, the legal help that you need. He's already putting these desires in their hearts behind your back, preparing them for you, just like he's preparing you for them. And think of how Elijah was fed by the ravens. And then when God said to go to this widow and he was fed by the widow, God knows where you're going, what you need, and he is more than able to provide every detail of this. God will bring you what you need. He does not expect you to be someone that you're not. He wants you to be you and bring what you have to the table. And for everything you don't have, he will bring around you. God will bring you what you need to pull this off. Number 4, you will be scared. You will. You will be scared. And it's like I've always said, do it anyway. Do it scared. If you're waiting until you're fearless, you'll never do anything, y'all. Of course you're scared because of all the reasons we've already said. You're not qualified. You don't have the information and you don't have the people, money, or resources at this point. Yeah, of course you're scared. Of course you are. Me too. Do it anyway. It says fear not or do not fear hundreds of times in the Bible. God knew we would be scared. He understands that we're scared. He just expects us to do it anyway. That we let our faith be bigger than our fear and we walk forward anyway. I've used the example recently of Peter walking on water. Don't you know he was scared? He was scared and he did it anyway. People were often scared in the Bible and they moved forward anyway. Yes, you will be scared. It's normal. Fear is normal. Of course, you're scared. Do it anyway. Do it scared. And number 5, God will pull it off. You don't have to pull this off. The pressure is off, friend. It is not on you to pull this off. It is on you to act in faith and walk forward one step at a time. But you are not the one to pull this off. You're not the one to make it a huge success. God is. When I freaked out on Tuesday of the week of doing the Easter baskets, and I was absolutely freaking out because we didn't have a location. I had hundreds of emails in my personal Yahoo email address asking me where to bring these baskets. And I didn't know because I didn't have a location yet. I started crying and the Lord said, Christy, this was my idea. I will pull it off. And hours later, a church offered me their room to sort the baskets in. I just happened to be there. I didn't even go to find a location. I went to help someone else out and someone offered me the room, not even knowing that I needed it. The stories I have of God pulling things off are countless, y'all. He will pull it off. The pressure's off. I think of the example of the fish and the loaves. Some of you are looking at the loaves and the fish that you have and you go, God, this is not enough to feed 5,000. This is not enough for this vision or this dream or this book or this business or this decision that I have to make. What I have is just simply not enough to pull this off. But God will pull it off. When you put what you have in his hands, he multiplies it and supernaturally makes it more than enough. When the disciples said, we don't have enough to feed these people, he said, what do you have? And they said, we have a few fish and a few loaves. And he said, hand it to me. And they gave it to him. And he fed 5,000. And there was more left over afterwards. God did that. When you put what you have in his hands, which is not enough, he makes it enough. He will pull it off. I love the verse, 1 Thessalonians 5:24. The one who calls you is faithful, and he will do it. He is faithful. He called you, and he will do it. The pressure is off, friends. He will pull it off. If you're following God into the crazy, you can expect these 5 things. God will ask you to do something you're not qualified to do. God will expect you to move forward without all the information. God will bring you the people, resources, and money that you need. You will be scared, and God will pull it off. It's hard, scary, and intimidating, I know. But it's also some of the most exciting, rewarding, and important things you'll ever do. So, I'm going to keep walking by faith. I'm going to keep following God into the crazy, and I hope you will too. And I also want to mention that if you are a parent in Nashville or know someone who might be interested in a different school option for their child, check out bridgechristianschool.com. You can find out information about my vision for the school and the details for the parent info session this Thursday on March 20th. And you can just see in real life this school and website that I've been talking about over the last few months. I can't wait to bring you all with me on this journey of following God into the crazy. All right, y'all. That's it for this week's episode of Get Your Hopes Up. I love hanging out with you every Monday to help you get to know God, get closer to Him, and get your hopes up again. Be sure to share this episode on Instagram and Facebook so other people can get their hopes up as well, and that I'll see you next Monday for another new episode of Get Your Hopes Up.